When you're buying a altcoin or a crypto stock, you're essentially buying Bitcoin beta. And so it's in the same ecosystem. And just like I said, altcoins, but also the crypto stocks, they're gonna move, but they're gonna move the latest in the more speculative phase. So I think with Mara, you're gonna need a lot of patience, just like with the altcoins. Just wait until they pick up, and then it's gonna be boom, they're gone, and they're not looking back.
Something that scares me is like, have we priced in all of the good news already? I've been saying that for the last 3 episodes, and every single time there's even more good news. So that's the problem, right? Like that's the problem with short-term trading or paying attention to the market in such a short term, because you never know what could happen. Like some of the good news could continue to come. That's why I sell some of my position, but then I have a long-term portfolio that I keep and I don't move around at all. Welcome everybody to the weirdest market rally we have, well, at least I have seen in my history, but I'm so far making tons of money, so I can't complain. I'm here with Timothy, and today we're going to be talking about market events. It's been an interesting week. We are in the middle of major data about to come out. Yeah, this week's going to be an interesting one. It's been so far an amazing week for all of the Magnificent Seven. People were freaking out in April, like in February, that the Magnificent Seven were going to cease to exist, and now we're continuing to see them hit all-time highs after all-time highs. Meta today is 11% up, Microsoft 9% up. I mean, it's just insane. The amount of value that's being created on a day-to-day basis in terms of market cap is insane. Jerome Powell had a speech. He dampened the party for about 5 minutes, and then 5 minutes later, Meta and Microsoft arrived to continue the party. So yeah, I mean, it's been incredible so far. It's just, yeah, we have jobs data tomorrow, which would be interesting to see, because usually whenever Jerome Powell becomes very subtly, he tells you what he's expecting, and I think he gets the data before the decisions are made, you know. So it'll be interesting to see what happens to jobs data and non-farm payrolls coming up tomorrow. But yeah, what are you seeing in the markets, Timothy?
Yeah, so first of all, like earnings came out from Microsoft and Meta, and you know what they've been saying for the last 2 decades? That the tech stocks are overvalued, that the tech stocks are in a bubble, that the tech stocks can continue higher for so much longer. And what we're seeing is the opposite. They can. And based on the earnings, we finally see some impact of how they are implementing AI. I mean, Meta had increased in ad revenue, meaning they are earning more into ads. They're being more efficient with their ads. So basically, it's working. And you also see they're investing even more into AI, meaning that they are really leveling up their investments just because they know it's gonna make them more efficient and make them earn more. That's, in the end of the day, that's what we want to see. We want to see earnings grow, because when earnings grow, you'll see the stock price grow. That's how it always has been. And that's exactly what we've seen. With tech stocks, we had Google last time we spoke, and then now Meta and Microsoft, and tonight we have Amazon and Apple. So also 2 of the biggest players within the Magnificent Seven. So it's gonna be wild.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, because one of the biggest news, and it started with Google last week, right? We had the capital expenditures increase, right? So they were going to spend more money. Google started this, and then we saw the same sort of story from Microsoft and from Meta, and the likelihood is we're going to see the increases in Amazon and in Apple spending as well, right? And who the winner of this is AMD, is Nvidia, is the chip players. We are actually seeing interesting results today. Qualcomm, I think, had earnings yesterday, and they're 5% down after the news, right? I don't follow it super closely, but it tells you, right? Like, this is not an everything rally. This is a very selected few rally, right? And it's like, who's taking advantage? We are proving that the AI revolution is here to stay. So yeah, it's interesting. Renovations are going on in my house. That's the reason I have a random glass here, random noises you probably hear. So sorry about that, everybody. You know, life happens while the biggest rally is happening. I'm reconstructing my house. Started with painting the walls, and next thing you know, I've taken down 3 doors and and 4 different like sections of floor. So fun times. But yeah, it's been super interesting, the rally that we've seen, and Microsoft, Meta are starting to show that we can actually see cloud revenues and AI investments start to pay off. And that's why we're seeing the rally in the stocks just being so massive. I mean, Meta is coming up to all-time highs already, but the Microsoft 8% is just insane. We're talking about $300 billion worth of value just created out of thin air. So if you
It's
have any
gonna be
comments, just
interesting
let
with
us know. But
Amazon because Google and Microsoft now posted increased revenue into the cloud section, but Amazon is actually one of the biggest cloud service. So I wonder, like, how much is that gonna be? Like, it must be blowing away the other the other two for sure. It's gonna be crazy.
oh, for
I'm
sure.
betting Amazon is also one of my biggest position, and I'm betting hard.
Yeah. No, it's definitely going to be an interesting one because even CoreWeave found strength yesterday, And this is going to take me actually down to a couple of ideas that I had when we go on what's on your desks, when we start talking what's on our desks. But so far, I mean, yeah, it's been insane. I mean, today we have Coin, MicroStrategy, we have Apple, Reddit, so many. First Solar, you know what I mean? So like a lot of my like a couple in my portfolio are definitely going to be. I'm very interested to see what the solar energy, like solar industry, is going to be doing with First Solar here, if they're taking advantage of the tariffs and how they're playing that out going into the last couple of months of the solar credits from the Biden era. So hopefully demand gets shifted forward, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting. So let me ask you, what's on your desk to mute myself so you don't have to hear that, man?
Well, first of all, let's talk about crypto. We've seen Bitcoin a bit consolidate, retrace from 123 to now 118. It even dipped to 116. So that is normal within the crypto bull market. It's obviously a lot because when you drop from 123 to 116, it drops are now the standard. That's what a small correction is within Bitcoin's history. But I've been adding more into my Ethereum stash. So I've sold some Bitcoin in the last couple of weeks and added more into Ethereum. And I've also been checking around like which coins are outperforming Ethereum. And I must say there's not a lot of coins outperforming Ethereum. That means you have to still be selective on what altcoins to choose. It's not altcoin season just yet, but you have to check the pair against Ethereum. So let's say you want to hold XRP. You say XRP is a strong coin. Yes, it has been going up a lot lately and even outperforming Ethereum, but in the last several weeks, it has been the inverse. We have seen Ethereum outperform Bitcoin, XRP, TRX, BNB, so all the big players. And that's why Ethereum is mainly on my desk because I think there's a lot of institutions still buying. We have BlackRock, we have Fidelity, all these big institutions buying Ethereum during uptrends, during downtrends. They don't care. They're just slurping the whole supply. And I don't want to be left behind because eventually with the new upgrade on Ethereum, there's gonna be more activity on the chain. There's gonna be more Ethereum burned, and we're gonna see the supply getting burned, meaning there's another catalyst for the price to continue higher because less supplies is like Bitcoin would eventually mean more demand for the coin and also a rise in price. So that's really what I'm looking for right now. And later we're gonna see altcoins pick up. But we're just in the beginning of the ETH tsunami is what it's called. Like the really Ethereum tsunami is now taking over. And later we're going to see the altcoins pick up. So that's really what's on my desk.
Nice. Well, that's the thing. Like, I mean, like the heat map that I was showing the returns for the cryptocurrencies in the last month, right? month to date. So it's been fantastic results so far. It's been fantastic results so far. But yeah, for me, like I paid attention to Mara earnings this week,
Yeah.
and it was interesting because it's a company that had its heyday for a little while, and now it doesn't have that much interest by many people. And interestingly enough, it had really good results because the price of Bitcoin is extremely high. They beat earnings and revenue expectations, and then they still got hit. They're still sort of like flat on the news. I mean, there's so much news around everything. There's just so much noise to even pay attention to this, right? So this is a company that I think potentially could explode in the near future. It usually moves around 3x what the price of Bitcoin does on a daily basis. But we have not seen that, you know? And I think Peter Thiel, the CEO, was very cautious about the current Bitcoin prices. He was saying that we could potentially see a retracement given the fact that some of the big whales are starting to sell those Bitcoin positions. So it's
But
interesting.
let me explain you a thing. When you're buying a altcoin or a crypto stock, you're essentially buying Bitcoin beta. And so it's in the same ecosystem. And just like I said, altcoins, but also crypto stocks, they're gonna move, but they're gonna move the latest in the more speculative phase. So I think with Mara, you're gonna need a lot of patience, just like with the altcoins. Just wait
Yeah.
until they pick up, and then it's gonna be boom, they're gone, and they're
Yeah.
not looking back. So you're basically positioning yourself for that one move that happens once in 4 years. Because let me look at like the long-term chart on the weekly,
It will show.
or
It shows. It will show
even the
exactly that.
monthly. So you see, once every 2-3 years, you're gonna have some big
That
spike,
euphoria.
and it doesn't take long. Like this move, it started really here, and it took around 8 bars, so less than a year. And that's when you gotta get out. Like when it's going parabolic, you make sure you get
Yeah.
out, because it's not like Microsoft you can buy and hold, even though it's a strong company, but you'll know they're not always beating earnings, not like those tech giants, you know?
Correct. Correct. No, it's yeah. No, well, that's the thing though. The nice thing about Mara, which is kind of like takes away a little bit from the altcoin seasons, and the reason I don't buy that many altcoins is because I can actually understand the revenues and how they make their money and how they play, you know. And I'm gonna be doing a video on how Mara exactly breaks down and how they're into like sort of vertically integrating the whole business model towards producing Bitcoin, but also AI sort of like compute as well, and how they're planning to take advantage of like the energy production side and making sure that that's always in use, you know, because one of the interesting things that Peter Thiel said, that this wasn't sort of in my radar as much, but he was like, we actually have enough energy for AI. We just don't have it at the right times, right? So it's like whenever everybody's running the models, when everybody's awake, we don't have enough energy to actually sustain the grid, right? So the question, but we're still going to need that much energy in order to kind of like distribute it. So the question is like, how can you sort of own your own energy in order to make sure that your factory, your intelligence factory, as Jensen calls it, sort of gives you that edge, right? So that's been my research for now, at least on Mara, and I like the stock, you know, and we'll see what happens. You know, it's a little bit different than the old coins. I feel just because you are able to see and you're able to predict what the earnings and the revenue is going to be based on the price of Bitcoin because they just mine Bitcoin, which is good. You know, but when they start sort of migrating that compute into AI, it's going to be interesting. Let me ask you, Timothy, have you been paying attention to the Trump deals? Because we got to deal with South Africa, deal with Japan, deal with the European Union. Everybody gets a deal. You get a deal. You get a deal. Everybody gets a deal. The question is
Yeah,
how real are the deals?
it's been a lot of deals. The market clearly they love it, or they even don't care anymore. Yeah, he's now even getting very political, like saying if you buy from Russia, your deal will be worse, for example. And it's getting really like personal in some matter. So yeah, I don't have much to say besides it's good that the deals are
Yeah,
coming, but as always, you know, Trump will or can change his mind in a flip. So
correct. So
what's
something to pay
the truth
attention to.
behind it?
Yeah, like
Anyway,
that's the
if you are like a long-term investor like me, that really doesn't matter. Like,
Yeah.
I will invest in companies nevertheless if they dip while having strong earnings. That's an opportunity.
Yeah. Well, something interesting based on the earnings that we're getting, because we're getting massive beats, like Meta's beats were nuts, right? And there's something that scares me in the underlying research that I'm doing, and it's the US dollar devaluation that we have seen. Currently, I think it's boosting like the earnings and the revenues that these companies are doing from international business. And this is something that we have to pay close attention to, because we are seeing that shift over. Like, I think the pound and the euro are coming down, and they're the lowest they've been in 2 months. So we are starting to see that US dollar correction as the deals are starting to come in place, and we're getting the sort of certainty that the market likes. This could be that the beats that we are getting currently is because of that devaluation of the dollar, but then we could see that reversing, which is something that has me worried. I'm not gonna lie, something that has me worried. I've been worrying for a while now. Sort of like, I just know, I don't like, the higher we go, the more sort of like bearish I get, just because like valuations start getting a little bit overstretched, and then any sign that earnings could be affected could reduce those multiples, right? Like Nvidia sitting at $183 right now gives you a market cap of how much? Let's have a look real quick. A 4.4 trillion, like
You mean Nvidia or Mike?
Nvidia. And even if we go Microsoft, right? Like, even if we go to Microsoft right now, what's Microsoft sitting at? Microsoft sitting at $4.1 trillion, which is insanity. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's not insanity because these companies are printing money. But the question is like, PE ratios got stretched, right? The forward PE for Microsoft right now is sitting at 30. If we continue to see those beats, company would do well. Forward PE for Nvidia sitting at 31. Current PE sitting at 59, right? So we are starting to see those overvaluations. But I think, for example, like Nvidia is going to beat earnings in a drastic way. Nvidia's results, also something that scares me, is like, have we priced in all of the good news already? I've been saying that for the last 3 episodes, and every single time there's even more good news. So that's the problem, right? Like, that's the problem with short-term trading or paying attention to the market in such a short term, because you never know what could happen. Like, some of the good news could continue to come. That's why I sell some of my position, but then I have a long-term portfolio that I keep and I don't move around at all. But yeah, I'm still taking profits. I took some profits of Nvidia today. You know what I mean? And I'm okay. Like, that's okay. Don't be afraid to take profits. Don't be afraid to move away. What else have
Well,
you
for
been
me,
hearing in
it's a bit different. Like,
Yeah.
for crypto, I understand like it's gonna move up, and then you take profits, and you know it's gonna crash. But for stocks, I've literally been holding my tech stocks ever since I bought them during the pandemic. I went really hard, and I've never sold any of it, because in the meantime you can take profits and just pay yourself for the ID, which is logical. But by just holding and doing nothing, I've basically outperformed the market just by
No, for
doing that.
sure. For sure. No, and that's the beauty of like investing, right? Like, that's what we like about it, is just we are making our money work for us, and just continues to sort of compound, even though we see that short-term volatility. I just Markets don't seem to pay attention to Trump at all anymore. It's almost like, oh, whatever, he's gonna say whatever he's gonna say, he's gonna do whatever he's gonna do. Let's just get it over with and continue to pump, because we are seeing levels. I don't know. I'm scared. You know what I mean? Like, I'm scared when we see Nvidia rally so much, right? And then we saw twice corrections that could potentially, like, volatility is here. Like, I don't take away the volatility aspect of the market. So, when the positions get that big, right? When you buy a 96 and then the position is sitting at 180, like, you can play with house money. You don't have to play with your own money. You know what I mean? And still continue to make massive, massive gains. So that's why
It's
I'm
just
I'm a little bit, it's like, it's not like I'm selling major parts of my portfolio, but I'm selling like the riskier positions, but I'm still holding. I still like Nvidia. I still like the story, right? Nvidia is potentially hitting $49 billion worth of revenue this earnings, right? It's like, that's my expectations. Funny enough, it's like, could we see even higher earnings? I mean, like, they took off $8 billion worth of revenue that was supposed to go to China last quarter. Right? So now we're seeing the companies increase capital expenditures, and then we're gonna see like China come back into the picture. It could get crazy. It could definitely get crazy.
No, but it's just important to understand that the market doesn't move in a straight line and we will see pullbacks. I've seen some stats showing that August to even October is usually the most bearish when you have the Republicans for the second time. So that's basically right now. We have Trump for the second time and we are entering into that August period. So expect some volatility to the downside. We have been really bouncing hard since April. That's around 30% up, which is very abnormal for the stock market to move up 30% without any pauses. So you should expect some drop within the most likely period that is bearish, which is entering now in August. So be mentally prepared. I'm not saying to sell, but either be mentally prepared or have some cash extra to buy the dip. That's always useful to add to your long-term positions.
Yeah. Having a little bit of cash. I think right now I'm sitting on 12% cash on my Etoro portfolio. So it's like, I've sold a bit here, I've sold a bit there. I'm happy with my positioning. A little bit of cash on the side has never hurted anybody. It's one of the things that made me come out of the dip that we saw faster, just because I was able to deploy capital really quick. So just a little bit, just a tad.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, any rumors, any companies you want to talk about, Timothy? Anything you've seen in markets?
So no real. We've seen Novo Nordisk drop a
Yeah, they
lot,
took a massive hit.
and I'm not sure. It's not because of earnings, because they were pretty good, but it was again the CEO. It's not an US CEO giving more a bearish outlook, and it spooked investors.
Yeah. We're seeing that. Like I saw the same thing with Mara. It was like just like, hey, it seems we're frothy. A lot of people believe we're frothy, but we've been frothy for a while now. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's interesting. The other news that did you see the Jerome Powell speech?
Not the speech, but I know what he said.
Right? Like it's interesting because apparently his tone was kind of like there was a comment that I saw that freaked me out. It was like the market should be thankful that we're not hiking. Like almost like throwing that as a possibility. Market spooked and it just went crazy, right? And it's interesting because it's like, why would he say that, right? And we know that the Fed has two mandates, right? Price stability and maximum employment. So the question is like, is the jobs number about to come really, really good? And then we're not getting a cut. Like we could potentially not see a cut this year. That is still in the bucks if the uncertainty, because now I tell you, when at least with Trump, the Trump deals, whenever this tariff saga started, I was like, okay, he's probably gonna go like 10% to everybody, maybe 5% to the people he likes, and then potentially a little bit higher for China, India, and their pays, right? But it didn't end up like that, and then that's where it got crazy. It's like, and then all of a sudden it was like crazy numbers. I didn't expect the numbers to come in as high as they were, right? I was like, okay, maybe 15%, you come down to 10. That sounds like a great deal. It turns out now we have almost 15 across the table, except for like defense industries and whatever industry Trump decides that he wants. But yeah, I mean, 15% is still higher. And we've really not seen any of the effects of the tariffs, but some effects will come. Like the consumer is starting to get hurt. The consumer in America is hurting. That's one of the things that I want to talk. Like it's part of my research as well. We are seeing some yellow lights flashing, and some of them are starting to turn red, which usually I'm like, everything is green. Right now, I'm not feeling so confident. The consumer is hurting. Yeah, like big companies are going to make money because companies will invest. And right now, we're just in like the most fruitful economy we've seen in the world so far. And with AI coming in, we are seeing knowledge being able to access knowledge and understanding so much faster, right? And in such a more productive way, even with just being able to send out an email super easy. We'll see whatever could come from agentic AI, sovereign AI, and how they will start sort of like incorporating these things into the productivity of the world. We just don't know. We don't know, right? Like we've seen some of the growth, but we haven't seen all of it yet. So
In my opinion, we're still at the early
for
beginning
sure.
of the AI boom. Like
Agreed.
I expect this AI revolution to go for multiple years, and
Correct.
yeah, it started basically in 2022, maybe a bit later, 23, but now it's 25, 2 years, nothing has happened. I mean, we're gonna see big changes in the next decades. Prices like Nvidia, Palantir, I can already envision they're going parabolic. Like we're gonna see the tulip phase again, in my opinion.
Like the thing is just like how big
With a
can it
big crash,
get?
of course. With a
But
big crash.
how big can it get? You know, because the thing is just like so far they're making the money. They're backing up the numbers.
The thing is, yeah, it's not a bubble right now. It's backed by earnings, really good earnings. So the value, okay, for Palantir, you can argue is the value high enough. But for Nvidia, these tech stocks, they're not overvalued. And in my opinion, when the AI boom explodes, it's gonna be 10 times bigger. Those companies has to be 10 times overvalued, like we saw in the tech boom .com crash. There's still a lot of room to go to the extreme next level. We went to the extreme to the downside. We bought Facebook below $100. We bought Nvidia below $100. And yeah, I think in the extreme to the upside, we're gonna see Facebook near thousand, Nvidia even $500-$600. So it's gonna be extreme times.
Yeah, for sure. Yo, let me ask you a question. So one of the things I want to talk about, which has me sort of worried, is the Tesla trade. You don't own Tesla. I know you hate Tesla. Do you hate Tesla?
I don't hate it. I just don't touch it. It has a specific risk with Elon being the CEO. If Elon would step down and some CEO with normal,
It would come down drastically.
do you think? Because it's already down a lot when he speaks.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. Like I think if a normal CEO came, like I think Elon still has a lot of premium on the price of the stock, for sure. Like the only way you get access to Elon is through Tesla right now, right? So that's why it's like when he caught the rocket on two chopsticks, right? The chopsticks. My dad was like, buy Tesla. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, buy Tesla. And I'm like, I don't like Tesla. He's like, buy Tesla. And I didn't buy Tesla. And I didn't make the money that I should have made, you know? And it's like, why? Because it's like anybody sees anything crazy that Elon does, and then you want to get access to him. When he landed the rocket on the platform, that's another major step. And it's just the stock goes nuts because of him. I think Elon, they take out Elon out of that company. What's the PE ratio, right? Like what's Tesla's PE? Like Tesla's PE right now is sitting at 185, right? Like 85 of those is Elon. Like I would say 100 of those are Elon. So it's like, I just don't see it.
If you're just looking at the business, it's not that well run, you know? And it has a lot of competition. So I'm not sure if Tesla still fits in the Magnificent Seven, you know?
I don't think it does right now, you know, and with Elon playing politics, even less, right? Like you're seeing people like Jensen that are playing the political sphere the way that they're meant to be played by talking to the right people and doing the right thing and sort of going and talking to the shareholder and the stakeholders and important points. And we're not seeing Elon do that, right? Elon is just like ranting on Twitter, trying to form his political parties, fighting Donald Trump. And it's like, what are you doing, man? I'm not paying you to do those things. You know, it's like, great, do it on your own time, right?
That's too much volatility for me to buy such a stock.
Correct. Yeah, like but you have to like.
I trade Tesla. I would buy it to sell it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't hold it like
so
I
treat
hold
it like a meme stock.
Yeah, treat it like a meme stock, or even like crypto. Because at the end of the day, it still holds Bitcoin.
Yeah. No, it's very true. It's very true. Yeah. Also, did you know that Mara is the second biggest public holder of Bitcoin?
Below Strategy?
Correct. Yeah. There,
but we're gonna see BlackRock surpass that very soon.
Oh, for sure.
They've been scooping up Bitcoin like mad.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely
And
see
like
that happening.
I saw Microsoft now holds around 3% of the total Bitcoin supply, which is also crazy. Like if he continues to do that for decades, soon it will be 10, 15%.
That's where it could get crazy, right?
But I also want to discuss with you, like we see all these companies buying Bitcoin, buying Ethereum now, and some are even leveraged buying. So they're doing all these strategies by forming bonds to buy more
The financial
Bitcoin.
wizardry. Yeah.
This feels like another crash already incoming. We
Yeah,
haven't seen the bubble form yet, but I'm sure it's gonna end with a lot of companies forced to sell their Bitcoin and
yeah.
big liquidation events, like always in a bear market of crypto.
Yeah, it does feel like the gimmick is that, right? Like the gimmick is to say we hold Bitcoin now and like we're a a Bitcoin treasury and like look great and all,
Yeah,
right? But it's
you
like
have businesses just buying Bitcoin to pump their stock price. I've
yeah,
seen it happen with a Belgium company. Like it's a crappy business, but then suddenly it announces to buy Bitcoin, and the stock rally 20%.
yeah, yeah. So it's I think that there's gonna be a lot of losers, and I think the people that are buying at like a higher levels, the later you buy, sort of the faster you're gonna have to sell your Bitcoin if it starts coming down, and then that could create a chain reaction that just creates another crypto winter. You know, that could be the thing that creates the crypto winter. Here, let me share the screen because we're just about to finish as the market is opening. So we have jobs data coming up tomorrow. What data do we have today? Anything important? Consumer spending is coming in at zero point 0.3. And then okay, we have PCE data today, just coming out whenever we went live, and it's a little bit harder. It's a little bit harder than expected, but nothing major. Again, the Fed is seeing the increase in inflation. Maybe that's why they're scared. Yeah.
There's something we don't know.
Yeah, and this caused the market to kind of like come down a bit. We are seeing a little bit of red, except for the winners of yesterday and the prior weeks. You
I'm
know,
surprised Amazon is up 3% before earnings. Probably because they know like the cloud service is doing well for Microsoft and Google.
so you
So we're
extrapolate
gonna see Amazon do the same. So
likely.
maybe it's more like a sell the earnings event.
Well, everybody was expecting earnings to be affected by tariffs, and the reality is that we are seeing earnings being boosted by the devaluation of the dollar. So,
But why are we seeing so much red? Like we're only
because
seeing
it's higher inflation, right? So we are getting an idea that Fed is
is
not
this
gonna.
live or is this from yesterday's
No,
close
this is live, live.
with the after hours?
Yeah. So 183 right now, Nvidia 83. Yeah, this is live. We are live. So we
What
are
I
just
like now
seeing de-risking.
on Etoro, they have stocks 24/7, so you can
Yeah,
basically check your portfolio, and if Amazon or Meta increase after the market closes, you'll still see the after hour price on your portfolio. So really cool feature.
yeah. Finally, they're starting to throw in some of the big games. Like they gotta compete before Robinhood buys them out.
And I saw they are releasing earnings mid-August, Etoro. So I'm curious.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and they are like going first on tokenization on the Ethereum blockchain, so stocks on the blockchain, which is cool. Definitely a step in the right direction, in my opinion. I
yeah.
just
No,
wonder, like in Belgium, we are taxed for every stock we buy or sell. But technically, if I buy blockchain stocks, they're not normal stocks. So could I avoid tax by just buying the blockchain stock?
I guess for a while until they change the legislation.
Yeah, because there's no rule about it.
Yeah. So there's probably, they might backtrack it and tell you, yeah, that acts because it's an ADR. Because I know that ADRs act the same. So it's like usually it's a deposit repository or something. Blah 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 blah. The ADR thing. It's like whenever companies like want to get some money in America, they'll make this sort of like ticker, and then you can buy it.
But what I'm afraid of is really that my country is gonna say like you're not allowed to buy tokenized stocks, and then I'm screwed.
Yeah, that's where it's like, we start looking at other places where you can move to. Market Bus headquarters. We start doing this live.
Farm Cyprus.
Cyprus. There we go. Because we're going well. It's gonna be
I
good.
can't wait. I can't wait.
Yeah. I'm excited too, for sure. What else? Anything else you want to talk about?
No, and I have to go, so
I'll
we
let you
can
be.
wrap it up.
Nice chat. Nice chat,
Perfect.
Timothy. By the way, make sure to check out all of the links below. We have Timothy's website, which is like on fire. Make sure to put it in the description. And yeah, check out our portfolios down below. We are doing really well. I'm happy with our performance so far, So we
Yep.
continue to see profits as market gets nicer and nicer. But yes, thank you everybody so much for watching. Hit that like and subscribe. Peace out, everybody. Bye. Nice.